I've seen a lot of Falcons fans over the years talk poorly about Matt Ryan, and I just don't understand it. His performances year in and year out were among the best in the National Football League, and I don't get how anyone can look at his productivity in Atlanta and say, yeah, that guy sucked. Yes, his play did significantly decline in his last 2 seasons, but are we really going to let 2 below-average seasons and a single Super Bowl loss define his entire career? Because of these undeserved criticisms, I want to take a closer look and answer the question, how good was Matt Ryan? Before we dive in, go ahead and hit that like button, make sure to subscribe to my channel, and let me know in the comments where you think Matt Ryan ranks all time. Matt Ryan played at Boston College for 4 years, but it was his breakout senior year that gained him national media attention. In 2007, he threw for 4,507 yards, 31 touchdowns, and 19 interceptions. The same year, he was named First Team All-ACC, First Team All-American, won ACC Offensive Player of the Year, ACC Player of the Year, the Manning Award, and the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award. He also led the Eagles to an 11-3 season and an ACC championship appearance. He was selected 3rd overall in the 2008 NFL Draft, the first QB taken off the board, one of only 2 QBs taken in the first round. He ended his rookie campaign by leading Atlanta to an 11-5 record, throwing for 3,440 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions, and capped it off by winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. Needless to say, Atlanta was confident they found their guy. Looking back at his career now, it's pretty safe to say Atlanta had their guy. He retired with 62,792 passing yards, which ranks 8th all time, putting him in the same category as guys like Dan Marino, Aaron Rodgers, Phillip Rivers, and Ben Roethlisberger. His career passer rating average was 93.6, and he completed over 65% of his passes. Not only was he named the 2016 NFL MVP, he was also the Offensive Player of the Year, First Team All-Pro, won the Burt Bell Award, and was a 4-time Pro Bowler. From 2011 to 2020, he didn't have a single season under 4,000 yards and ranked 2nd all-time for the longest streak of 4,000-plus passing yard seasons, only behind Drew Brees. It's also worth mentioning that he ranks 5th all-time for the most consecutive starts, 154 from 2009 to 2019. Matt Ryan was a workhorse and did everything he could to get the job done. For me, it's pretty easy to name Matt Ryan as the greatest quarterback in Atlanta Falcons history, but why do so many other fans struggle to see it? Michael Vick is the only other quarterback I see being brought up here, and his numbers don't even remotely compare to Ryan's. While Vick was certainly a generational talent, I don't feel the comparison between the two is equal, and claiming that Vick was better doesn't really make sense. We can't talk about what could have been, we can only talk about what was. Most of the criticism I see surrounding Matt Ryan usually involves his lack of mobility and his lack of Super Bowl wins. No, he never brought a ring to Atlanta, but you statistically cannot blame Matt Ryan for our Super Bowl loss. To this day, he has the 4th highest passer rating in Super Bowl history. Once again, Matt Ryan did everything he could to get the job done. Atlanta had many good seasons with Matt Ryan, 7 winning seasons and 6 playoff appearances with a 4-6 record in the playoffs. But his last 4 years in Atlanta were kind of rough, and it really wasn't because of him. They went 25-40, 0 winning seasons, 0 playoff appearances, and he was sacked an average of 42 times a year. From 2018 to 2021, he ended every year in the top 10 of quarterbacks sacked the most in a season. Despite that being the case, he still averaged 4,484 passing yards, 26 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. Now, let's talk about those good old Atlanta Falcons defenses. 6 times in his career, Ryan had a bottom 10 defense, with 3 of those seasons occurring during his final 4 years in Atlanta. And the 3 times he had a top 10 defense, 2010, 2012, and 2017, the Falcons had a winning season and made it to the playoffs. It's almost like wins are a team stat and not a player stat. Ironically though, in Ryan's legendary 2016 campaign, the Falcons defense was ranked 27th, while their offense scored 540 points, the 10th most in NFL history, only scoring below 23 points once all season, and made a pretty miraculous yet devastating Super Bowl run. Look, I'm not trying to glaze Matt Ryan and make it seem like he's the greatest quarterback of all time. He was definitely frustrating to watch late in his career, and I was a big advocate for drafting his replacement heading into the 2021 season. However, there has not been another Falcons quarterback to do it like Matt Ryan. Ryan was brilliant during the peak of his career, and his greatness became so much more obvious once he left because Atlanta has been struggling to find a consistent starter since. We went 14 years with one guy, and once he left, we've had 5 QBs in 3 years. I think too, a lot of people try to compare Matt Ryan's playing style to the current landscape of quarterbacks right now, and that's not really a fair comparison. Matt Ryan was playing during a time of primarily pocket passers like himself, and he was always in the top 5, top 10 conversation. To wrap all of this up, let's not forget Matt Ryan is 9th all-time in passing touchdowns, 8th all-time in passing yards, and 5th all-time in completed passes. Matt Ryan is the greatest quarterback in Falcons history, and I don't really see how anyone says different. Rise up, and I'll see you in the next video.